George Kilpatrick Inspiration for the Nation, celebrating people we feel good about. We have two members of the National Council of Negro Women, NCNW, Syracuse Section, and we're so pleased to be joined. They're having a big event coming up on October the 21st. It's their anniversary Founders Day celebration, and here to talk about NCNW and what they do in the community and what is going to be happening on their Founders Day anniversary celebration is the president of the NCNW Syracuse Section, Janice Brown. Also joining us is the first vice chair and the anniversary Founders Day chair, Tatiana Parker. And let me go back and say, Dr. Tatiana Parker. Okay, now that we done did that, Janice, tell us about NCNW, what you do in the community.
Oh, good. Thanks, George, for having us. So, National Council of Negro Women is an organization of organizations. It was founded in 1935 by Mary McLeod Bethune. And in the Syracuse section, we have been in the community over almost 75 years.
Wow.
Doing the work of the mission of the organization, which is to lead, advocate for, and empower women of African descent, their families, and communities. And again, like I said, we've been in the Syracuse community over 75 years, and our priorities are to promote education, literacy, entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and economic stability. We educate women about health and promotes health access, and promote civic engagement and advocate for sound public policy and social justice. And that's what we try to have our annual Founders Day anniversary celebration around, some of the work of the mission of the organization. And this year will be no different. We are going with a STEAM theme where we are going to be focusing on educating young women and girls, especially in the Syracuse community, around that science, technology, education, arts, and mathematics. So adding the arts in this year.
Perfect. And Janice, I heard a little twang there. Where you from?
Thank you, George. Originally, I'm from Mississippi, but I haven't lived there in over 30 years, but I still have that Southern drawl.
I just heard a little something, and I was like, let me ask Janice. And Janice, where did you go to school?
So, undergrad, I went to Alcorn State University, HBCU.
Okay.
And then I went on to Columbia Southern and got my master's there.
Right. And I asked that because it's always, when we talk about supporting girls in particular, it's always interesting to find out how people got on their journey and what that journey was like. So HBCU represent.
Yes.
Before I continue, and Tatiana, indulge me, please. This week we saw the presidential debate, and there was what was described as Kamala Harris going to a sorority party. What y'all think about the debate? And Vice President, what's been your reaction to what you saw this week?
So, we're nonpartisan, George. So we try to make sure we stay nonpartisan. But when you talk about my reflection of what I saw, it's clear that we need to go with what's the best interest of the country at this particular time. And so there were some good points. There were some bad points, but again, we still need to focus on what's best for the for the country.
For the country. Tatiana, anything to add?
As Madam President said, I want to make it very clear that we are a nonpartisan organization. So me as an individual, a lot of thoughts went through my head, a lot of ranging emotions. But at the end of the day, for me, it drilled down on the critical nature of education. There was a quote, and I can't remember if it was MLK, but the function of education is basically so we can have a populace that functions, right? So hearing lies, hearing the grandstand, some individuals grandstand, or what did I see online? Gaslight, or it really drills down the need for organizations like us to focus on education, to focus on media literacy, to focus on reading and comprehension so individuals can take in information from different sources and figure it out for themselves. Because if we're just relying on what's put in front of us, we won't know our head from our back.
Yeah, clearly. So Tatiana, thank you, first vice chair, and you're the chair of this event. By the way, let's talk about quickly your educational journey.
It's been a long one. So got my associates from OCC, bachelor's SUNY Oswego, master's SUNY Empire, and my doctorate in education from St. John Fisher.
Yeah, and I mention that because this is inspiring, right? When we see two African-American women who are leading an organization in the community that supports the community, you've all been on a journey. And Tatiana, you talked about it, it took a minute, but that's also encouraging because even if it takes a minute, and I say this to my daughter all the time, it's not how long it takes as long as you keep your eye on the goal. And that's part of what you're celebrating, what rooted in innovation from heritage to horizons. That is the theme of this particular event. Say more about it, Tatiana.
All right. So I do want to, before I jump into that, I do want to share that the journey might be long, it might be hard, but we do not do this alone. Nobody walks their path alone. A sense of community to support and uplift you is really what moves the needle on any change that society has ever saw, right? My path to NCNW, I was in the middle of my bachelor's. I had a 1-year-old daughter at the time, and I was pushing her in a stroller at Juneteenth downtown. I saw one of our members, Millie Williams. She had a table with NCNW. I came over. I said, "What is this about? I want to learn more." They told me about NCNW's mission, and the work that they did in the community. And it was inspiring to me, but I had that negative self-talk we sometimes have, right? So I was like, I can't do it with my daughter. They said, bring her with you. So I started my journey in NCNW in 2009 with my 1-year-old daughter coming to meetings and events. And I felt it necessary to say that because with all of the changes that's happening in Syracuse, with Micron's new factory being built, that $100 billion investment, the new STEAM school, we as a community need to come around and examine the concerns or issues or desires we have around this economic and educational change here and figure out what is our role here. What are we going to do? How are we going to make this work for us and our families, right? So against that context, we came up with the theme of STEAM and education. And from Rooted in Innovation, from Heritage to Horizons, is really going to pay homage to those Black women who have come before us in the STEAM space. We always hear about the hidden figures, right? But there are other Black women in science, technology, engineering, arts, math, medicine, who nationally and a lot locally, who are paving the way. So we felt it necessary to get those individuals in a room, celebrate individuals, and invite the community in to hear more about technology, how it's going to help our families, and how they can get involved.
So you have a special guest. Are you? Who is the special guest?
Yes. So we are pleased. We are pleased to announce that we have none other than Kimberly Bryant as our keynote. And Kimberly Bryant, is the founder and CEO of the Black Innovation Lab, but more people might know her as the founder of Black Girls Code. Black Girls Code is a national nonprofit organization that has been committed to addressing the disparities in tech for Black women. I mean, program is from coast to coast. She has videos on YouTube I've been feeding to my daughter, my youngest daughter. I'm very excited that Syracuse has the honor to hear from her experience, to come network with her. She's just not coming to speak and leave. And let's forge those connections so we can really stake our claim here in Syracuse.
5 to 9 p.m. October 21st at the Marriott Syracuse downtown. How do people secure tickets? What's the ticket price?
Absolutely. So, as you mentioned, it's at Hotel Syracuse. If people are familiar with our annual event, it's always been a luncheon. So, we are pleased to have it be an evening event.
That's what I was thinking about, right? I was like,
yes.
now does this take the place? Is the luncheon
Yes.
still happening? Like, that's what I was like going through in my mind as you were talking, because this is going to be an evening event.
Absolutely. So the price is $125 for adults, $50 for youth under 16. And we want the kids. Bring your children so they can see the people who are paving the way nationally and locally, and connect and learn about possibilities in STEM, in STEAM rather. You can secure tickets on Eventbrite. Also, we have advertising and sponsorship opportunities available. If you're interested in either of those, please give us an email at syrncnw@gmail.com.
And will there be a booklet? So what the advertising opportunities, is it a booklet? What is it?
Yes, it's a souvenir. It's a souvenir journal, so you get to walk away with it. And we have some amazing sponsors already. We really want the community to come put in an ad. We anticipate this event to draw from across the region because we have RAT right there in Rochester.
Yeah.
So this is going to draw. So if you have a business or small business owners, if you have a STEM program, if you have a community organization and you have an event coming up, please reach out and secure an ad. It will be well worth it.
Now, is this the first event you've chaired for NCNW?
Absolutely. I was recently elected the first vice president of the Syracuse section. I'm really excited to do this work. I have been on the Anniversary Founders Day Committee for several years, and I have found myself in the chair position as well. So it's exciting. It's a lot of work, but we're really excited to how this is shaping up.
I point that out because look at someone who pulls up with her stroller to find out about an organization, and now, hey, Janice, right?
Yes, now you're leading.
Now you're leading, and so that's really exciting. And I think for many, I mean, for people who know NCNW history, it was the Ebony Fashion Fair. That was, and that's around the time that it would normally take place, right?
Yes.
And I just want to do a shout out to dearly beloved who has joined the ancestors, Lovey Winslow, who was a longtime member many years ago. Not many years, but several years ago. But I just remember Lovey being active in NCNW. And
it's such a lovely organization, and it's an exciting time to be a part. We now have a national CEO, Siobhan Arline Bradley. If you don't know who she is, I highly suggest you look her up. And there's a lot of exciting changes, a lot of focus on social justice work. So you'll see that come out of our section more. And one thing that separates us is that we are a convener organization, right? Our founder, Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, created the organization in 1935 to bring all of the other organizations that are focusing on work in the same area. We're talking about Alpha Kappa Alpha. We're talking about Delta Sigma Theta. We're talking about all the sororities. We're talking about Order of Eastern Star, Jack and Jill, the Links, Ladies of Distinction. We have 36 affiliate organizations under NCNW, hence my lovely Delta NCNW pin.
It's all together.
Yes,
Yeah, good.
absolutely.
And by the way, Dorothy Height, who obviously was the CEO for what, 70 years?
50
I don't even know.
years. Over
50
50
years?
years.
How many?
50 years.
50 years. And certainly led the organization
Yep.
very powerfully and very depthly. So, all right, let's tell everybody once again, October 21st.
October 26th.
I said 26. Sorry about that. Syracuse, correction. October 26th, Saturday, October 26th, 5 to 9 p.m. at the Marriott Syracuse downtown. And Syracuse NCNW through the email.
Sure.
SYRNCNW@gmail.com.
SYRNCNW@gmail.com. That is for information about buying tickets as well as supporting through ads and sponsorships. There's opportunities available for all of those convenient organizations that you just mentioned.
And if you're interested in more information on our organization or possibly joining, send us a message. We'd love to have good-hearted, hardworking people who want to make a change.
Syracuse NCNW@gmail.com. Is there a phone number people should call, or is that just how you want people to? Syracuse NCNW@gmail.com. Janice Brown and Tatiana Parker. Anything else we need to know about NCNW Syracuse Section? And I know you collect gloves and hats and things. Tell me about that, because it's never too early to do that too, Janice.
Well, Tatiana is over programming, so she can talk.
Come on, Tatiana, give it up.
Program person.
I know y'all do that too. Go ahead.
I'll be more than happy to, but that's her area, so we'll let her have the floor.
Come on, Tatiana.
Thank you, Madam President. So the program that you're referring to, George, is called our Jack Frost program, and we have been doing that for several years. We collect hats, gloves, scarves, socks, anything that kids in the Syracuse City School District need to stay warm in the winter. As many organizations, we are jumping back into our programmatic year. So keep your eyes open. Jack Frost may still be the same, or there may be some updates. But we'll definitely keep the community posted. We also have the Rhapsody program.
I'm going to say, talk to me about that.
Yes, the Rhapsody program. During Christmas time, you're running around to Macy's trying to find stuff for your people. You're running out of time. You can't wrap your gift. Come to us. We have a stand in the mall where for a small monetary donation, we will wrap your gifts and give them to you. And that's one of our major fundraisers. And we're looking to bring our affiliates on board with that this year as well.
You do a good job at it. All right, there you go. Syracuse Section, the National Council of Negro Women, NCNW, October 26, 5 to 9, Marriott, Syracuse, downtown. Syracuse, NCNW@gmail.com. President Janice Brown, the first vice chair and chair of this event, Dr. Tatiana Parker, George Kilpatrick Inspiration for the Nation.